Hello. Welcome to Unveiled. I mean the weirdness. No, I mean the darkening sky. Ever so often, I get to DM, and when I do, it's a travesty, and everyone gets sad. And that's what's happening tonight. Before we get into an epic recap, because we haven't played this particular game in 14 or 15 years, we're gonna welcome our players. Who have chose new characters for this particular chapter, refresh our memories about what's going on, and some of my little homebrew, that's my new one, homebrew, some homebrew traits for this campaign, and where everyone stands at the moment. So it looks like everybody has chosen a peep. We've got Karasu and Leonardo, a new character that we'll have to get some information on because yeah. Shay and Chelly, Calicera. So let's introduce ourselves. We'll start up with that feller, which I think I'm pointing at Dakota, and then we'll go across that way, and then it'll go down to Emily, and then it'll go back to me, and I'll introduce myself again. Begin.
Hi, I'm Dakota or Shira. I'm going to play Small Burb that is definitely a wizard and definitely has nothing wrong with him. Nobody's figured that out yet, right? I think we're all clear that this character has no problems and is definitely a wizard.
I think everybody figured that out, but it's been so long since we've actually played this character that I don't know if they did or not.
Good.
I'll leave that up to you. Dragons, please do your thing and click the button to make sure that we can hear you do the thing. No, you're gone. You're back. You're gone. You're gone. You're there. Here.
I'm here. I think you can hear me now because I've clearly unmuted myself. I think I unmuted myself down there. Can you hear me? Can the world hear me?
Yes.
Beautiful. Hi, my name's Tony, or Dragons. I am playing Leonardo tonight, and you'll learn more about Leonardo here in a little bit. I love the Darkening Sky, and it's really cool to have talented friends.
Eat a butt, and Chris, it's your turn.
All right, I am Chris. Tonight I am playing Shay, who's a tiny, like 2.5 foot tall, living dark blue quartz crystal with arms and legs and a face.
Wow.
I just realized that Leonardo is a human, and Karasu is a kenku, so very short. Shay is very short, and then Chelly also.
So very short.
Very short.
Wow.
And Emily, introduce.
Hi, Chelly here. Imagine like a satyr or a centaur, but my body is a spider instead.
I love it.
So super cute, really good at tap dancing.
I love Chelly. She is quite insane. That's one of my favorite things. And I am Jaffo Gibu, apparently, tonight. And I will be your third GM, no touchy. And
No touchies, eh?
No touchies, eh? And tonight we're going to jump into the Darkening Sky. If anybody's watching, which I have no idea, it is a post-apocalyptic world choked with ash and dust and is dangerous. And our last surviving people are trying to rescue the gods. Our chapters in our story thus far were the marshaling of war, the labyrinth of city, the kindling of light, and we just finished, by just I mean like a month or so ago, I don't know how long it's been, the mystery of Arcana. So instead of going over our entire thing, I'm just going to go over the mystery of Arcana because that's going to get us up to date with where we are now. During a heated argument between the Warforged at the camp, who all represent the gods, Weave, the Warforged linked to Arcana, began rambling coordinates. A team from the outpost assembled and set off far to the far north using all 7 steps of their 7 league boots. They found their way through the clouds of not bats and horrific eldritch arms reaching up from a rift in the land, miles long, to a frozen landscape of mesas of ice. Upon inspection, one contained a structure built of unworked iron, and the team sought refuge inside. They found materials to arrange a huge glass and iron structure to form a weaver's knot, which opened the way beneath to a tomb-like room where the corrupted form of the god Arcana said, "Too late, Arcana is ours, and so are you." As that occurred, Weave, the malfunctioning Warforged, attacked the camp, revealing that this was a calculated trap to stop the forces freeing the gods. Upon its destruction, the corruption within the Weave remarked, "We see you." Also during this altercation, the god War entreated the last remaining dragons, Uari, Sayaka, Mildred, Havel, Calathar, I think it was, and of course Thratherthrax, the great glow lord.
Thratherthrax.
Thanks, Jude.
Thank
To
you.
travel to the north and attack the Rift of Arms to give time for the party trapped there to escape. After an exceptional battle, they succeeded in beating back the enemy and the freed gods thus far, manifested, combined their powers, and shifted the landscape to close the rift. Back in the chamber, the fury of the dragon's attacks momentarily disrupted the corruption of Arcana for a brief time. The dying god revealed the structure surrounding the party was designed by Arcana to be a trap from which gods could not escape. Arcana used himself as bait to trap the enemy and learn its secrets at the cost of his freedom and finally his life. The god instructed the heroes to remove his hand, the only part of Arcana not taken over by the darkness. In order to ensure that this part of Arcana was not seen as a god by the traps and mechanisms of this prison, Shafak, the Void Genasi Twilight cleric, severed his own hand and replaced it with Arcana's. With time ticking away as the power of the hand began changing Shafak into the new god of Arcana, the heroes fled the prison with the re-emerging evil at their heels. Finally, they escaped into the arms of the genies of Earth and Fire, Tao and Afriti, who sealed the tomb of Arcana finally with the words, "How you is gone, is he? Yet Arcana survives." The team was then shepherded back to the outpost overlooking the blind, Camp Thesrasa, named for the sleeping gold dragon that lives there, found earlier in an earlier adventure, and that's where we are right now. I do have one bit of housekeeping, and that is the player for Shafak couldn't be here, Sphinx Akasha. He's busy doing stuff for his podcast, which is very cool. That is the Everbright archive. So if you guys want to listen to some great stuff with some great people, it's cool stuff. So check out his podcast, the Everbright archive. I'm going to be playing Shafak for a short bit with Sphinx approval. Not very much, actually, not at all, unless you guys want to interact with him. But he and I already talked about it. Shafak has a very important role to play in coming chapters, but he's going to kind of be written out for a bit for reasons that are kind of apparent from him turning into a god, and more that are going to be made apparent in this session. Does anybody else have any housekeeping they need to do? If not, I'm going to jump into a flashback. We haven't had one of these flashbacks in a long time. It's a shorty. You guys ready? Yeah. Except I forgot something. Right. I need to go back. Some of the homebrew stuff for this, just so everybody remembers how we do it. This is how we do it. So Nat ones still auto fail, but in failing, there's an extra insight or knowledge gained that would otherwise go unnoticed. And it may not be pertinent to the situation, especially since, of course, you failed, but it will be pertinent to the world. So I like to give something fun and world building to people if a natural one happens. Also, normally, while I haven't been doing this for other sessions that we've played because we reached the threshold and bad stuff started happening, but we're set back to 0. And I want you guys to know that I keep track of spell levels cumulatively and communally used during the adventures, as well as nat 20s for any encounters or whatever things you roll, because of the law of power, which is the more power that is shown, the more power seeks to gain that power. Like if you know, like if you lift a mountain, something's going to notice. And so those are all like cumulatively tracked by me. So let me know when you guys are casting a spell or using a magical item. I'm pretty good at remembering to do this, but you know, it's fun. It's fun when you get past that, because terrible things happen.
Imagine having the choice to use a lower level spell slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Definitely a wizard possibility.
Yep. And then crits do max damage plus the die, or you can try to do something cool and change the situation. This is what Shiro uses, and I really like it. And then just a reminder, for skill checks, you're highly encouraged to be creative. If you can explain how the skill is to be used for the situation, I'll give you different kinds of information for different kinds of checks. And now that I've done that, I'm going to read one more little thing and we can start going. Here's the flashback. Now remember, the flashbacks are like not character knowledge, and they are they could be happening anytime, even before the Darkening Sky. They could be happening well before in different eras of this world. So just to let you know that. Okay. Here we go. The time dragon Sayaka's blue scales shimmered as her scales changed from clean and youthful to scarred, dry, and ancient. She bent her head low with a creak of stiff bone and aged muscle, and drank from a mighty cauldron of tea. She lifted her head as the shimmer passed over again, smoothing cracked and weathered horns, renewing them to a powerful sharpness. I hear you, knowledge, but what's the sense in saving something that doesn't wish to be saved? They wish to be lost with the rest of it. Let them. This will only breed hostility. We've seen animosity bred from less, she said, her tones smooth as the passage of hours. Knowledge looked up from his tiny cup of tea, barely noticeable in the bright aura of his countenance. Yes, yes, my friend. You must have indeed seen much in your years, even longer than mine, but we don't have a choice. If we leave them beyond in the dying forever, then they'll hammer at the pocket we've made until it breaks, and all who wish to be saved will be lost. Outside the plains will be a universe desperate to end that cannot, as we've taken part of its final equation away. No, it's risky, but to save anyone, we have to save everyone, even those most alien and abyssal. I guess so, said the ancient and now blinded time dragon, shaking with palsy. I suppose if it comes to it, we can always try to destroy them, though saving them is the more moral thing to do. She smiled with a healthy, toothy maw. And now we find ourselves back in the outpost. Poppy, Shafak, Wu, and Reggie and Ciara were shepherded back to safety by Dao and Afridi. For a moment, Gerda was there, but remember, she woke up from her drug-induced plane dimension hopping
Shift.
and is back in the world of Unveiled. And now nobody in this world remembers her, as it should be. Down
Astral projecting.
Yeah. Down Afridi, when they part ways, they say that they intend to speak with Mach, the genie of the Astral Sea, and they lead the party up through the base of the mountain, through the ice. They crack up, and then the team actually use their 7 lead boots to travel back to Camp Thesrasa. When they return, the camp is in a panicked shambles after the attack made by the forces controlling Weave, and the knowledge that their location is now known by the enemy. The huge amount of power that the dragons and the gods wielded in the far north has brought all eyes seeking power up there for the moment. Back in the last chapter, it seemed like the forces of the enemy were starting to kind of encroach on the camp. Like everyone could see the darkness rising from the horizon. All of that now is focused to the far north, because of course gods appeared there and worked great magic. But the camp knows that it is still under eyes. So Camp Thesrasa and the blind don't know how long they have before the eyes of the enemy beyond the abyss snap back in their direction. And as this team of adventurers, which is not the team that we are playing with now, arrive back, you group are there. And what is it that you are doing in the wake of basically knowing that you as a group are endangered? Where do we find you all?
You'd find Leonardo somewhere wherever the last bits of fighting or infighting or whatever were. He'd be there, moving bodies and cleaning up and assuring everything is fortified to the best of his ability.
So the fighting ended in like that main area, kind of that observation deck that you guys have. And so, yeah, there would be a lot of parts of a Warforged to clean up. And then, people are running around. There are a number of people that are there. For example, Tig, who kind of runs the camp, has just sent word to the blind to let them know what's going on. So there's a courier running through. The way you guys described it to me was like there's a series of like portcullises and checkpoints down like a collapsible collapsible corridor system. I think of it like the corridors in Aliens that have like the auto guns. That's just what's in my mind. So someone's running
why
down.
not?
So yeah, someone's running down there. But other than that, people are trying to regroup, moving things around, wondering what should happen next. And when Shafak gets there, he's murmuring to himself. They have him covered in a cloak, and there's light billowing out from where his hand is changing. And that's what you guys see. I don't know what Shay's doing. I don't know what Karasu's doing. Karasu, you just got back from a solo trip. Because do you remember you went back to the Mock told you to go back to the fallen temple and pick up the sundial.
Oh, did I do that?
You did that.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, then I would have just gotten back from hauling sundial across the
sundial's it's about that big. It's not very big. It was on a window.
And he's this big, so
yeah.
I liked the mental image of me having to jury rig a sled and like pull it across. Yeah, so I would have just got back. I was probably just informed of what the fuck's going on. And actually, I don't know if Karasu would be at the base. He may have gone back to the archives.
How do you get back to the archives? Can you do that yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm 100% able to go back to Mog whenever I want.
He can go in his lens. Shay would be poring over whatever maps we have because he's convinced that the base needs to move. It needs to relocate. So he's trying to find a suitable place, and he'd probably be like conferring with Tig, like, okay, this place isn't big enough, but what about this place? Or is this good enough? Is there a good enough trail to get to this cavern? How secure can we make this? And that kind of stuff.
And it takes constantly like we have too many things and too many people. We can't just march across between these two places. How are we going to move
we can't
there?
stay here.
Can the two of you just move over a minute? I have to move these parts. Please take your meeting over there. Go over there. As he's pulling parts and chucking them over a wall.
And Scratch runs by and goes, yeah, let me help. Let me get rid of that. Scratch is part of the Order of Rust, and he's like, magic and technology, get this out of here. So he's helping.
What does Leonardo look like?
Yeah.
So Leonardo is a 6'3"
turtle.
No,
he has a bow staff. Wait, no, two.
Yeah,
That's
precisely.
Damn it.
Yeah,
that's two swords. You're thinking of two swords, Joff. Come on.
Damn. No, he is about 6'3", square-shouldered, probably for a human, probably mid-30s. Just the very beginnings of just a little bit, kind of like me here, a little bit of like salt and pepper in his well-kept like goatee beard. Yes, like that. Very stoic, very Jeff, I don't necessarily think there's like nobility per se anymore. Hello there. Hello.
Well, I'm gonna help put this kiddo to bed.
Yeah.
So how about this?
I'll finish off.
You tell them your backstory, and I'm gonna say that your family still upholds these very strange traditions, including that your mother and father have the honorific of Lord and Lady.
Perfect.
But I'm gonna say that the rest of the camp can feel about that weirdness as
however they wish.
Like. Okay, so I'll be right back to you.
I'm going to pull this up because I wrote this.
Good night.
They said good night.
That is not it. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm scrolling back through my notes because I just made this today. Where'd it go? Nope, that is definitely January. That is not the wrong. Sorry, guys. Here we go. All right. Anyways, so 6'3", square-shouldered, salt and pepper beard. He has a large great axe strewn over his shoulder, and kind of in a sling, kind of hanging off one side, but really tucked up against his body. You see a heavy crossbow. Very martial looking. There's no movement wasted with his like strides and his ability and strength. Leonardo Viscani, third born of the once proud champions of the Royal Guard of Viscanis, son of Lady Laraya and Lord Gustav Viscani, keeper of the just and loyal ways of the old, defender of the meek and champion of the survival of humanity. That is his family, and that is his lineage. And you can see his well-worn chainmail with just like in the right like reflections. You can just see little glimpses of what used to be golden chainmail, and it's now like scuffed and worn, and it's almost like it was plated chainmail, not like full-on gold all the way through. So you kind of can infer how lordly they were or weren't, maybe. Maybe they thought they were a little higher than they were at times. But he definitely, while a kind and caring, compassionate person, he is a little stuffy. A little stuffy. So.
Plating makes sense because gold is so soft.
Right? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
horrible armor.
That's very true.
It's
That's
a
very true.
status symbol, Shay.
What?
I didn't say anything.
And so he's basically just, trying to help clean things up and make sure nobody else gets hurt. But he is immaculately decked out, and there's on his right arm, there's this intricate like woven looking tattoo that like encircles his whole arm, and like different, almost like a mix between inky tendril swirls and like flame, kinda. And it goes from his shoulder and wraps all the way down his arm to his wrist.
That's cool.
And he's got like these immaculately like frosty blue eyes and dark hair. So that's where we're at. Cheers.
And everybody thinks he's nuts, right? Is that where we're at?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. He's the lord that never was.
I would like to think that the order that Leonardo claims to be a part of is often at odds with the far more popular, because I think you're pretty much the only one in this order. That's how I see it. Like you and your family uphold this thing, but the Order of Rust is all about how like the old ways brought us here, magic brought us here, power brought us here. We're going to do everything we can not to do that. So I think sometimes you butt heads with them, but there's only one member of that in the outpost, and that's Scratch. Scratch is a little bit different because he's kind of championed by the god of war, so he's kind of
Fair.
Kind of on the
That's
outs with his order too, because there's a big whole
Yeah, no.
powerful thing following him around.
I bet they were really happy to boot his ass out of the blind.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, look at me. Look at me.
Yeah. So you guys are oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. There, come here. I have notes, I swear to God.
Which one?
Probably all of them.
Should I explain what Shelly's doing?
Yes, please.
So first, she's gonna cross her eyes like this.
Yep,
Can you see it?
I can see it.
And then she's gonna use her spider web silk, which she must have, and then she's gonna crochet a little bracelet.
She can definitely do that. Chelly is more of like a jumping spider. Her body is more like a jumping spider. So she doesn't spin big webs.
They're
But
small.
Yeah, but she can definitely spin a little thing like that. Like you can, I think you have the spell web that you can cast web to actually make larger webs. But if you're just using your body normally, then
Yeah, this was
yep.
just a craft because she's so out of her element and confused, and everyone's anxious. And she says, "I'm just gonna craft. I'm just gonna craft. I'm just gonna craft."
She that's actually a lot like what she might do. Um,
Well, let's hope so.
yeah. I will say this. Let's see. Do we know what Shay's doing yet? Because Karasu is not even there.
Shay was going over with Tig places that
Oh, right.
possibly
Okay.
happen be a new outpost. Where are we gonna
Okay.
fit a dragon?
Okay, so Leonardo's on cleanup crew. Shay is on trying to figure out what to do. Shelly is having her own personal kind of self-soothing moment. Karasi, what are you doing in the archives?
I think it's looking for information on like how we could either move
Yeah.
or hide. And I do have access to comprehend languages now.
Okay. I would like to say this too. How do you get there and back? It's through your amulet, right?
Yeah, it's through the lens.
It's through the lens. So you would have had to have come back unless you want to go through the lens where you were and come back where you were.
No. I think I came back to the outpost, heard that everything had hit the fan, and then immediately left.
And then hop back. Okay, that makes sense. I thought you were like, I went and I got the thing and then I just went up. And I was like,
No.
but then you'd have to come back in the dangerous
Yeah, then
spot.
I'd be in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah,
Let's
that would be
not do
awful.
that.
Okay, cool. We're on the same page then. I'll say this. While you're trying to like find how to move, something like that, something happens in tandem to Karasu and to Shay. When you say, how are we going to move a dragon? Right? It's kind of like the fifth element. And we cut up to Karasu, and Mock turns and goes, "Why don't you just ask the dragon that's there? How you're looking for a place to move? Why don't you just ask the dragon that's there?" And then it cuts back down, and Shay, you have the ability at this point to respond to Tig, who has just said the exact same thing.
Well, fine, I'll go talk to her.
Okay. All right. So now the outpost, as you guys described it, it's got like this dais, right? That is kind of an outlook kind of a thing that you can look.
Yeah.
And then it's got like the I'm not remembering it well. There's like a staircase down or something like that, and then that's where people sleep, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember where people sleep. So if you guys want to describe it, you can now. I don't know if it's just one level and everybody camps out up there, or if there's more levels. But we did say that Thesrasa sleeps in the place with the traveling doors, like deep underneath in the underground city, because there's enough room for her there. So she's burrowed in through the side, and she's been convalescing because most of her body had been not most of her body, but much of her body had been petrified by a decades-long fight with multiple beholders. So she is down underneath, and anyone that wants to can go talk to her.
Hey, Kelly, you want to come talk to the dragon with me?
Chelly, you love magic. That's one of your defining features. It's one of the things you understand the most. In fact, because of your subclass, when it comes to any rolls for religion or nature, you roll at disadvantage because you only understand things through the lens of a magical framework. So dragons are awesome because they're so magical.
I agree. Dragons are awesome.
Yeah, I'm coming.
All right. So we'll head down.
Okay. You
There's
guys,
some sort of lift system down to that.
yeah, I don't remember what it was. But I say that if you'd like, Leonardo, you can be the person that helps them do the lift system since you're big and they're not. Although,
where are you? Where are you going?
We're gonna go talk to the dragon about the situation.
Do you
Someone's
not
gotta
see
tell
all
her.
the stuff?
Come on, help me with the lift.
Okay.
This 6'3" human and a 2.5 crystal.
Pick the both of them
little
up
spider girl.
and set them in the contraption, the lift.
okay.
Right. Just stay there. Hold on. And I turn around and I undo the latch and the thing, and then is it like a crank system or?
That's up to you.
Okay. So
We've never
I
described
imagine. So I put them in this like round. Think of like going back to like the 18 or 1900s where they've got that like open steel cage looking thing, but it's like really thin ornamental. And then there's a cable that runs through it, over a wheel, and then down. And I crank this crank, and it pulls the cable, and it takes the cage over the cliff, and then where we need to go.
As you guys are going down, you hear Tig yell at one of the people that that you guys brought there with you. It's a what was their name? There was a tiefling. Oh, yeah, a tiefling named Kane. You can hear Tig screaming at, not screaming, but, Tig yelling at Kane going, "It's still too noisy. It's too noisy. If anyone can hear that." And then Kane is like, what do you mean anyone can hear it? Everyone knows we're here anyway. And as the camp is in disarray up there. And you crank down. It's a ways down because you guys wanted to make distance between whatever that horrible stuff might be in the lake below the upside down city. And as you get down there, there is a breeze as you are let down into this room. Of course, it's like an upside down version of the citadel that's right side up in the blind. And Thesrasa is resting on the ceiling, which is, now the floor, taking up the whole area, but has burrowed a hole straight through the mountain to get there. So there's like a cavern or a cave just big enough for her to kind of army crawl through into this area. Not as secure as it once was, but none of the traveling doors have been disrupted, and she's sleeping there.
Okay. Damn. Okay. And
Shelly.
I picked them both up and I set them out of the cage. And I like affix and lock it in place so the damn thing doesn't like leave or go anywhere. I'm like, okay, go talk to your dragon. I'll wait here.
Chelly, this whole time you have been laughing to yourself because there's a mechanism here that has a weight on it that he could have just unlatched and then it would have moved down under your own weight, but you were really enjoying the fact that he was hand cranking you all the way down.
It was a sight to behold.
It was. You're like...
I'll go find the snout end of the dragon.
Okay. And Karasu, I'm going to let you blip in whenever you feel like it.
That's great. When Mock recommends talking to a dragon, the assumption is that somebody is, right? There are a lot of capable people. There's only one person that can look for answers here.
Okay.
So if I can roll investigation or something, that would be cool while they're doing this.
Yeah. Roll, because you're in what is that thing with a big old telescope?
Observatory.
Thank you. You're in the observatory with
Yeah.
all of his vast tomes of knowledge that you guys can't take, but you can always go.
Yeah.
I will say this. This place, remember, when you got here, is vast, but it's not big enough for everybody in the blind.
Right.
It might be big enough for everybody in the outlook in the outpost. That might be cool. I don't know how you would get a dragon up here, but I also don't know how you would get everyone else up here.
Yeah, that would be a feat. Okay. For the roll, I'm going to use guidance on myself
Okay.
because
All right.
I'm special like that.
It's
And I'm
actually because
also-
Mock, your uncle genie, with all the stars in the heavens and the smooth, weird, featureless outline, and the big smile is actually giving you a back rub.
Oh, what a bro! What a bro! I'm also going to use Kinku Recall to get advantage on the roll.
Okay. I don't know what that is. You could be making it up.
If I'm proficient
Sounds
in
cool.
it before I roll, I can choose to have advantage.
Okay.
So the first roll's a nat 1, so I'm liking the advantage. That's good. That's good. The second roll's a 19 on the die, so that's 28 total.
God bless him.
28. 20 fucking 8.
Yeah, I had a
Okay.
4 on the guidance.
All right. So I'm gonna have to think about this.
Go back to the dragon
While I think about
composition.
this, we'll go back to the dragon.
I also have comprehend languages if I need to be able to read something.
Ah. Okay. All right. Okay. Is that an Eldritch Invocation or is it a spell?
Yes, Eldritch Invocation.
Okay.
It's from my tome.
Okay. Since it's an invocation, I'm tempted not to put it on the marker.
It doesn't take a spell slot.
It doesn't take a spell slot. You just do it. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna treat that like if Chelly decided she was gonna use spider climb. It's just something you can do. So, okay, cool. Yeah, all right. All right, let me think how to resolve that while they talk to Thesrasa.
Thesrasa's a female dragon, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I thought so. I called it she earlier, and I was like, wait, was that right? So yes.
Yeah, she used to be the queen of the dragons.
Okay. That's what I
And
remember.
then she elected to protect Light during Light's imprisonment. And then I cannot remember the name of the ancient red dragon. That's a real son of a bitch. That's in the clutch of
yeah.
dragons that's left. I can't remember their name, but they took over once Thesrasa was otherwise engaged.
Okay.
And that is a boy. That's a little boy.
Little guy.
It's a little boy.
It's just a little guy.
So I'll find, where generally an ear would be on this head that is much larger than I am.
Mhm.
And I'll be like, excuse me, ma'am, we have a problem. Thesrasa, ma'am.
This eye opens to behold you that's probably like larger than you are, in
Probably,
height.
yeah.
And
Hi, Shay from the outpost.
yeah, what do you need?
I'm afraid
Child of Earth?
our outpost location has been compromised by dark forces. Kind of a bit of a panic up there about what to do. I was wondering if you had any ideas about where we might be able to relocate everybody to a safer location, perhaps. Ma'am.
There's let me look at my notes.
I love it.
Thesrasa picks up one of the claws and looks underneath at the scrawlings on the ground.
She says, there aren't very many safe places. Is the blind, has it been discovered?
No, that doesn't seem like it yet. Just our outpost.
The blind should be secured. And she stretches, and she can't open her wings enough in this space. But she she goes, so just the outpost. But how far can you? I'm sorry. How far can you travel altogether?
There's how many people are in the outpost? Like 20?
The not counting you guys and not counting Thesrasa, there are 19. But
Okay,
there's
okay.
also Wall, Wu, Drury, Reggie, um, Chelly, Leonardo, Karasu, Ciara. So about
Wild.
30,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I thought it was like 30 to 40.
Yeah, there's about 30 people. There's definitely there's only enough 7 league boots for like 3 teams to be out at once, right? Because you only have like what, like 12 pairs, I think.
Something like that.
So I
There,
relay all that information. So preferably someplace close by.
I'm trying to look for like thingy. Sorry. Nope. Bollocks. Sorry, guys. I knew I had notes, but I didn't have them all open. Let's see.
You're welcome.
Shoot. I can't remember the name of that fucking dragon. I don't have it anywhere. Thesrasa
We'll call
says,
him Tim.
Thesrasa says, there's a clutch. There's a last holdout for the eggs of the dragons that remain, but it's been so long. I don't know where that is anymore. I don't know if it's been moved. That's one option, but I wouldn't know how to contact them. I don't know the leader or who's still alive. But that would be a safe place.
I would worry about us endangering the last dragon egg, though, if we were to be discovered again for some reason. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Let me see something really quick. Okay.
Contact a dragon.
Anybody who has sending, I was just looking to see if she has sending, and she doesn't.
I do.
There is most likely, if any of the dragons I know still live, then the one that would most likely still be alive is Sayaka. She's the last of us that doesn't really die. But I don't know how to contact her.
Oh, I have a name. What does she look like? If you describe her, I can message her.
I'm not quite sure what she looks like right now. She may be old, she may be young. She's a light crystalline blue Uh,
You
Her-
go on swimmingly.
her horns are more like antlers than mine, but still pointed.
All right, that should be good enough. What exactly would you like me to ask her?
Well, if she still lives, and you need a new place, you could ask if she has a safe place. It would most likely be where the eggs are, though.
All right. Oh, it's a third level spell. All right.
Here
we go.
Right, Nicole?
Yeah, here we go. Doo, doo, doo.
Beep.
So it begins.
Spin that wheel. Sorry. I had to.
So, Sayaka, I'm friends with Thesrasa. Do you know safe location for 30-ish people of quite powerful abilities near underground city?
Salute.
Doo, 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 doo.
You know that your spell worked. Dakota, you want to send an answer?
Oh boy.
That's your character.
That's your thwackle.
Oh, yeah,
I can.
You're the
I don't know
tiny
what
dragon.
the answer is.
That's up to you. You're that character.
Yeah, bitch. Pick it up. Tap into them DM
So
skills.
much pressure.
Clutch my pearls.
I mean, do I know a safe place other than the hole
Dragon.
where the other dragons are?
I don't know. Let's see.
What a
You
wild
poor
question.
dude, you got to figure out a 28 and what my fucking dragon knows.
I know. Okay. Oh God, I just figured out what your 28 is. I just figured that out. Okay. Oh no, it's so bad. Oh, I love it. Okay. All right. Sayaka doesn't know of any other place that's safe because Sayaka has been keeping that place safe. That place does have enough room for 30-ish people, 30 or 40 people. But they also would have to deal with the dragons that live there. And there isn't a lot of food where you guys are at because the dragons have been taking turns, like hibernating basically. And, waking up to take care of the eggs. And, like eating what you can. So, like, but then again, like food scarce everywhere. But
Is it feasible to have 30 people live here and not be a problem?
okay, this is what I'm going to say. It is definitely feasible for 30 people to live there, but it is a cave built for dragons. You told me what the name of the structure is, right? It's a huge chasm down, right? And then, like, that's why it's so secure. You can't, like, easily get to it. The dragons can fly up and down. It's very hidden. It's possible, but how are they going to get in and out? That's up to them.
Okay. How does responding to sending work?
You get
I
30.
think you can respond in kind. Hold on.
Yeah, you get 30 words.
Okay.
In the meantime, this is what Karasu got with his 28. In the center, not the center, but, well, okay, that's how it would describe things. in the center of the earth, between the continent, or between the continents, there is the city of the gods, Mor Atma. And in the time of the ruin, right before the darkening sky, Mor Atma was protected by a great shell. And while the great shell cracked during that last war, Mor Atma still remains. And according to this tome, there is no safer place, though it may be difficult to get to. The city of the gods still stands, and stands vacant, as it was the first place that the enemy attacked and spread from there. So its vanguard no longer is there.
Okay.
These are both bad options.
Yeah. I mean, one of these I'm predisposed to, right? How do I describe how to get to this fucking hole in the ground?
Okay, so when I'm trying to remember details that I already gave. I believe that when the people came from the when the last team came up from the outpost to the far north, they went straight north, right? And then the dragons came from the east to there.
Okay.
So okay. Sayaka's been around literally forever, right? So when she heard underground city, I'm going to let her infer that it is the city of Hume that is now underground. So if she knows that you are near Hume, or these people are near Hume, it's pretty much a straight shot northeast from where they are, but it's like a journey. This is like, you guys flew and you're dragons. You are fast. This is probably on foot, maybe a month away through mountains and
Bad.
like deserts, like of ash and stuff, right? So it's probably a month by foot. Probably like if you had beasts of burden or something like that, you could shave a week off. But it's probably due east or due northeast.
Okay.
And if you want to give like landmarks, I will let you give landmarks and we'll make them real in fiction.
Okay. Can you see stars through the opening sky now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to use that for your landmarks then. Okay. 30 words you said I have, right?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, while he thinks of that.
Oh, I was just going to start.
Go for it.
No,
I'll give you some time.
it.
I'll give you some time.
Yeah.
While he says that, Thesrasa says, I should come up and help make plans. And with some great effort, she shifts into a humanoid form of an old human woman, though she still has curling horns, and her left leg and her right arm are still partially petrified, and she limps onto the dais, or not dais, that's a different game, isn't it? Limps onto the elevator, and says, wherever we go and whatever we do, we have to We have to somehow bring the tools to travel with us. I don't know if we could bring these doors, but your boots won't be enough for everyone. And she
Yeah,
gets
so
on
I
the
was
elevator
hoping we
with
could
you.
find someplace still nearby these doors. I don't know though.
I can't fly everyone in here and not be noticed.
Hmm.
Uh,
You smell like cheese. No, she doesn't say that.
she should.
I'll poke Leonardo in the leg and go, up, Nardo.
Got it.
As you're heading back up the lift, you'll hear this. Does a sigh count as a word?
No.
But just this like deep. Very far. You said northeast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To the northeast lies a crevice. It would be difficult living. If there is no other option, follow the tip of the shining bow in the sky. 29.
And that's why I have other dungeon masters play with me, so that I don't have to do the hard parts.
Improv.
Karasu's also going to come back at this point.
As we're going up in the lift, I'll reach up and take Esrasa's good hand, just like hold onto it, and say, "Someday, ma'am, I'll be able to undo your petrification. I swear it."
Well, she smiles at that, and she says, "I still get around okay." Except now she's a human, an old human woman, so she goes,
Yeah.
"I still get around okay."
No, I still like the voice.
The dragon voice comes out.
As all
Yeah,
this
go.
talking has been happening, Shelly has woven her a friendship bracelet. And when it's too big, when old woman transforms back into dragon, she can just put it on the tip of her horn, like
Her horns are still out. You could like climb up her, or like honestly, you don't need to be on the lift. You can climb to the side and like
I was
get
thinking
above and like drop it over
So
on her
I've
horn.
distributed this friendship bracelet onto her horn. We've kind of formed an unbreakable bond.
I'll give you this for free. She's noticed that you have done this and has done nothing to remove it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're almost there.
So by the time, thank you, fighter. You have to action surge to do this.
No, please don't.
no.
Mama, no.
By the time you get up to the top, Tig is talking to a representative of the blind, and Karasu pops back down. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of agency in this, because I don't want to be the only person making assumptions for this. Let's assume that the blind has been fully briefed about everything except for maybe Shafak, because people, like, more and more people are tending to Shafak, but that hasn't really spread yet. Like, people are going over there. Tig even hasn't gone over there. So, but let's say that the blind has been fully briefed, and this is the blind's response from what's happening. So, I'm going to open it up to whomever wants to start. What's the first thing that the blind is going to do? What are their, knowing that they may be found out, or definitely that the outpost is found out? What actions are they taking?
They would probably ask that the tunnel be collapsed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's my thought. Is this is the last supply trip? This is it.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
it.
Yeah.
Zion is falling. Close the door.
So if they're gonna close that, are they going to actually close their doors? Like the ins and outs, like bring all of the scavenger teams in and everything, or what are they gonna try and do?
I feel like that this is the moment where in the story, correct me if you wish, everyone, but I feel like this is the point in the story where that is the plausible piece that happens.
So I think given how the world works and where the blind is at, it
Mhm.
only makes sense that they care foremost about survival, right? So as long as they can, they would pull everything in and
And
stop
hunker.
anything foraging for as long as they can reasonably do so.
Okay. All right. So here's some other questions then, because this is a big deal, right? This is if they are done, and they're locking down. There are player characters that have family there, family and friends. So I'm going to say that Sphinx's characters, I'm going to speak for him because he's not here. His characters don't have ties, right? So he's got a monk named Kai and Shafak, and I think those are his only two.
Yeah, that's the only ones I remember.
I think so.
Oh wait, didn't he had a rogue, didn't he? A soul knife?
A soul knife. Yeah. Here, let me look that up because I have that character somewhere. That's why I have an actual server for this. Where's characters? Yeah, Kai. No, he had it, but I don't have him.
Oh.
I know we played him once, but I don't have him listed anywhere. I don't think he's not. Oh wait, he's in the B team. There's that. It's funny because there is no B team or A team or anything
No,
anymore.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Iroh Khan. Oh, Iroh Khan is the
Oh, is that the monk?
is the monk, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna say that his scavenger team, those like his scavengers are like, we don't have anything to go back to, so they're gonna stick around. And I'm gonna give you guys the option now. Who goes back? I know that now you have a new character, dragons. So you've got, from what I remember, you've got Poppy, Banger, and now Leonardo.
Yep.
So it's up to you if they all stay together, if they go back.
I would
Kelly is
say
nuts, so she can do whatever
Poppy-
she wants.
Poppy is super old and would not go back. Like 100% not going back.
Okay.
Bangar was really tied to like protection of the blind and like was part of like the
Yeah.
deep-seated and deep-rooted like tradition of like maintaining that order and like
Yeah,
taking
he
care of
originally
things.
was one of the guard. Yeah.
Correct. I think
right.
Banger would probably go back
Okay.
and
cool.
keep to his honor of protecting.
That's rad.
And I think Leonardo would know that the potential to never see his mother and father again is real, but that the character or he himself would feel that he would be one of the only possibilities to save the blind and maybe save the world. Like he wants to be a part of that piece.
Okay.
He would stay. So,
For me, I think only Drury would go back because he'd want to. If everyone's hunkering down, he'd want to try to, find to produce a new source of fungal food for everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for about 5,000 people to live in darkness for a while.
Yeah, so that's I think Shay doesn't have really any connections because Shay, as far
Shay's
as
unique.
Shay knows, Shay's less than a year old.
Mhm.
Has no recollection before being found by one of the Delver teams, so doesn't really have any connections and wants to do good and feels that he can do good out in the world. And Reggie wants to stay with the outpost for the same reasons kind of Leonardo does, because this is a chance to actually make a difference, to change the world for the better.
Mhm.
And he knows it's important to hunker down, but he also knows you can't just hunker down and wait for the end to come. You have to go out there and try to stop it. And then Wild, the Warforged, would also want to stay with the outpost.
Yeah, all the Warforged unanimously are like,
Yeah.
we're not going back because
Yeah.
they have a calling now. Except I still
Yeah.
see that Weave is there, and I need to put a line through him because Weave is deed.
Yeah, I don't think we've
pew
around.
pew.
No, we've got decapitated.
Yep.
I think for
Baby
mine,
Shay is so cute. Less than a year old, just doing their best.
having a
Oh
grand
my
old time.
god.
Wall is definitely staying because he's a Warforged, right?
Yep.
Karasu is 100% staying because the blind would not let his ass in.
That's true.
If they do.
I think they know too much about him at this point.
Yep. Do you know?
So the only one left is Ciara.
Yeah.
And that's a hard one. Ciara very much wants to fix the world, but believes that she is the only person that knows how any fucking animal looks ever. Right?
Right.
So her dying is a big deal. So I don't think she would go back. But as she gets the news that the blind is closing, she's furiously sketching pictures of animals and writing down information about how animals look to keep for the archives.
Okay, so just for my notes, Drury goes back.
Mm-hmm.
Poppy does not go back because he's old as F.
Yeah, he doesn't care. So Drury.
And Banger goes.
Go back.
And those are the only two. Okay. Of course, all the Warforged stay. Tig also stays because Tig is the only one that can read Aquan. And there's a lot of messages that are encoded in that.
Yeah, they write it in fucking poems.
Yep. Do you remember why? It's kind of like
less powerful.
No. The poetry is very, very hard to decipher, and it's kind of like the code talkers in World War II.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were sending messages.
The Navajo, yeah.
Yeah, they were sending messages in poetry, in ancient Aquan because it was impossible for the like the aberrations from the far realms and the creatures of the abyss to actually understand it. And that was their only way to send messages, which is also very difficult because trying to give battle plans in like amorphous poetry is really hard. I don't even know if Emily knows that. I can send you the thing. I wrote out how to write Aquan poetry. It's very interesting because I'm a geek. The helpers that you guys had. the 3 healers that came with you. Kane, the tiefling from the Order of Rust, Tyleth, the Dragonborn, and Lane, an Aasimar. Kane goes back, and Liane goes back. So you guys are left with only one healer, who is the Dragonborn. Everybody else went back. So you've got your teams minus those 2, 1 healer, a gold dragon, which that's cool.
Yeah.
And then the Warforged. That's all you got. So now it is about 30 people.
Okay.
And when you get up to the top, that's when Kurasu blinks in. And the I'm gonna do this because number 1, I like getting you guys in trouble, and number 2, it's super fun. On this last trip from the blind, they give you all let's see. And you guys don't have to choose now, but from their vault, they're going to give everybody, let's say, 1 uncommon to rare magic item, and I will let you guys do that. Now remember, using magic items out in the open can be real bad.
Yeah.
But the blind takes back anything that you guys have other than that, like healing potions and other things like that. They just bring those back. So if you don't,
you said rare.
yes, a rare, like up to a rare. Okay,
Yeah,
so
okay.
I'll let you. And also, if you're like, it's the staff of the Magi, then I might be like, maybe not that.
No.
So
No.
Not that.
It's rare. That's
Yeah.
legendary. Come on. I
No,
know
okay.
exactly what I'm taking because I'm
Okay.
a warlock.
Okay, so you guys each get one of these things if you wish, and we can rock that out to your other characters too. But they basically take everything else that you've got. Okay, you've got rations and the seat of your pants.
What about my
And
friendship bracelet?
what? No, the friendship bracelet they don't take. No one can take your friendship.
No one can take your friendship.
Exactly.
No one
Little
can take your
one?
friendship.
Thank you.
No one.
I needed that.
Somebody tell me what magic item to give Jelly.
Oh God.
A cave of billowing.
No, that's a worthless item.
I think that would look great as I diddly deed along with my many legs, or maybe like a princess hat or something.
Man, like in any other campaign where walking around as a spider girl might be really uncomfortable, I made a magic item for Chelly, which is so cool, but it is useless in the darkening sky. So I'm not going to give that one to you.
Great item is a cloak of displacement, though. That was on my list of consideration.
Okay. Oh, she is very squishy.
How dare you?
She is.
Bracers of defense would be cool.
Bracers of defense are also great. I did not go defensive. I took a +2 Rod of the Pact Keeper.
Haha, Rod.
I do
Rod.
like cloak of displacement. What was the other thing?
Bracers of
Defense.
Very good item.
I'm going between that and a +2 Great Axe.
Ooh. Magic weapons are rare. So
Yeah.
that would be pretty cool.
I think I'm going to take the +2 Great Axe.
God, I don't mean to squint like this when I read. I'm such an old woman.
That's why I have these, because without them I turn into an old woman.
I like to imagine
Yeah, do this.
they gave me just a magic stick, and as soon as I touched it, Mox influence took over.
You know what? I like to imagine it this way. You were about to reach for the cloak of displacement, and in this box of stuff that most of the people in the blind don't know what it is, because even the ability to do
Identify.
is pretty, like it's pretty rare. It's hit and miss, right? And you're about to grab the cloak and your hand turns starry and goes vroom and like just grabs the rod instead. And you hear in your voice, nope.
Does that mean the cloak of displacement's mine?
If you want it,
What does the team think?
that's up to you.
It's a
That's a
great
great
Yeah.
item.
It's a great item. Yes.
I did like it, and I don't know how the bracers would work on my spider legs anyway.
Oh wait, you are wearing a cloak of protection right now.
Oh, that's right. You gave her that.
So maybe I do the bracers, and if I have a cloak already, I cannot wear a second cloak above it, can I?
No.
No.
So maybe we keep the cloak, and I put on my bracer of defense.
They're arm bracers.
Yeah, they're cute, right? And I can put them on like my things that I use to like what the crickets do, like how I do with my pincers or
Well, it does bring your armor class up to a lovely 15.
So
God,
yeah.
imagine having 15 AC. Couldn't
Yeah.
be me.
Okay. I will take bracer of defense.
Okay.
But I'm not putting them on I have human arms. I'm not putting on them. I'm going to put them on my spider legs. So they're like little golden tattoos and it's like kind of cute.
Can I tell you this? Chelly understands magic like no other. If you would like, I'll let you separate the bracers of defense into little rings and put one on each of your 8 legs.
Yes.
They're like bangles
No
now.
more.
You no longer have bracers of defense, Chelly. You have bangles of defense.
Bangles of defense.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
Fuck with it.
Damn.
Adorable. So cute. A fashion icon and a psychotic spider lady.
But a cute psychotic spider lady.
Yeah, no, no one was disputing that.
Oh, I
She
need to
got
switch
pink-
something
She
on
got
you.
a pink bob looking like the spider from James and the Giant Peach.
She's rad.
Oh, wow.
Right? You guys saw her picture. She legitimately looks
love
like
it.
a Russian spider. No?
Yes.
Didn't we
Yes.
all have a crush on her? Or am I just like, was that after your time?
Kind of a side crush.
Yeah,
Oh, you
we
also
all
have
had
Shira.
crushes on non-human
Side
characters
crush.
as a child, right? Like nobody had a crush on a character from The Lion King. It's just me. Grow up.
Wait, Amulet of Health is a rare item?
I don't know what that does.
Sets your
Things.
constitution to 19.
Damn. Damn. My constitution.
Okay, I'll do that later.
Already
Right
high
now-
enough.
I need like 3 of these. Can I get like 3 rare?
No. You know what? Where is...
Mm.
trying to think of... You know what? I'm going to give her a shocking grasp because that's funny. Okay, I'm going to change one of your spells because you're telekinetic, so you don't need Mage Hand. Chelly, would you like to be able to grab somebody and electrocute them, or would you like to make fun of them to death?
That
I'm
is a
kind of
tough
more
choice.
electrocute. I'm not really a bully, and I don't love to insult people. I think watching them die from electric shock by my hand would be like much more fulfilling for me.
Cool.
The spider.
All right. You've been changed. Also, I just want to put it out there. I don't think we're going to be in combat anytime soon, but you do have mage armor, and I think that'll help. Does it help your AC if you're at 15?
Only if it's under something to begin with.
Which you probably are if you're using bracers of defense, because you can't be using armor anyway.
Oh wait,
So, like-
are bracers armor?
No. The bracers of defense don't give the +2 if you're wearing armor.
Yeah.
You have to
She's
be
not wearing
She doesn't wear armor to begin
Which
with, so
means mage
I
armor would
have
take effect.
tough
That's why it's so good, is because your AC then becomes 17, like as
Okay.
a baseline.
And you also have
Which is
armor of Agathis, so you can get pretty tanky in a fight if you need to, especially since you have a very, very low constitution. You are a bug.
My armor is not on my character sheet.
You don't have any armor. You're not wearing
am a
any.
bug.
Oh, you said armor of Agathis.
It's a spell.
Good spell.
Oh, my mistake.
Such a-
yeah.
Does my electricity power make my eyes sparkle like Storm from X-Men? Or
If you'd like it to, it will.
I
Sure.
absolutely do.
Sweet.
I am thinking a +2 amulet of the devout.
Ooh, I didn't realize that was rare.
That's a rare.
That's cool. Go for it. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm prepping you guys for bad things.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, I really
What
should
we do
think of
around here.
something to stay alive, but I did not. Playing Warlock, I can't not take Route of the Pact Keeper.
Rod.
I just had to take something to smash faces with.
That's okay. There will be many a face to smash.
Yes, bring them to me. Many face, many smash.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
So
I have a request, completely, mostly just like what's the word? Like story based. Nothing really is going to happen other than it's a +2 weapon. Could I, during this time period? Damn, she's not a dragon though. Fuck. Is she going to turn back into a dragon?
Thesrasa?
Thesrasa?
I mean, at some point, but she doesn't want to blow up your camp with
Yeah.
with her.
Okay. Well, I was gonna have her like treat my axe with her fire weapon, and then
She can
it
do
would,
a breath
like,
weapon when she's in human
Oh,
form.
perfect. Oh, I basically read like an old proclamation from the old days that my father wrote in a speech one time, and I'm like reading this out loud to myself to kind of pump myself up. I'm never gonna probably see him again. I'm going out into the world to like make a difference. I'm like, I need something. Oh, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. Or
Could you do me a great favor? And I'm gonna pull my axe out.
that you just got. She attacks.
No,
Roll
the-
initiative.
Yes, that's
That's good.
exactly right. Would you please bless this with your breath, please? I would be honored. And I take a knee and hold it out.
She takes your axe and walks over to where basically the elevator shaft is, and cranks the elevator up a little bit higher, and leans the axe over and breathes fire down into the pit. Otherwise, it would shoot out like a signal flare.
Got it.
And then hands you a burning hot axe back.
I love it. I just would imagine, like, if the axe was fairly ornate before because it was given to me by my family, that the dragon flame has, like, altered it in a slightly jagged and kind of, like, twisted way, just a tiny bit.
Well,
like,
so this isn't a family heirloom.
no, not per se. Just
Okay, yeah.
something that was bestowed to me that it looked well made.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I want her flame to have like altered it just a little bit to give it that flavor of now it's something different.
Got it.
That's all.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more
Perfect.
warped,
I like it.
blown back. Um, the emissary from the blind takes their leave, and as they do, they look back, and then like they are gonna say something, but there's really nothing to say. Like, how do you? There's they.
How
the
do you
way
say
that-
goodbye?
Reggie will give a letter.
Oh yeah,
for his
anybody
family.
anybody that wants to
Oh
send
yeah,
messages back, they've got a a bag full
Yeah.
of letters.
Up until the very last second before they leave, Ciara is drawing the best anatomy that she can.
Absolute best. It's awful. These are horrifying creatures that she's drawing.
What are you talking about?
um,
This is what a cow looks like. What?
The-
They don't have fangs in your.
I just it whenever I think of Ciara, I think of like looking at like the skull of a human child, because they have two rows of teeth. You know, they've got the teeth that are in and the teeth that are coming. Yeah, Ciara would definitely not know what those are. And laden down with all of these messages and horrible drawings, the last emissary from the blind travels into the cage that connects the two cities, and you hear a click, and a small metal pin hitting the ground, and then a series of collapses, a series of rock falls that get quieter and quieter as there's less ability for the sound to travel. And as they travel down the conduit, they keep pulling out each pin that then collapses the next shaft, collapses the next part, until the conduit is completely closed and the outpost is abandoned.
We gotta figure where the fuck we're going.
It's at this time that Thesrasa notices the other group. We've got. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one because I was looking at notes. Get out of here. Get out of here. Poppy and
Shafak.
yeah, Poppy and Reggie and Ciara. Well, not Ciara, because Ciara is just way too busy drawing things. But Poppy and Reggie are still around Shafak. Wu is with the other Warforged, and they're gathering up what they can. They're like making. Nobody knows where they're going or what's happening yet, but the Warforged are creating packs to hold rations for the people that need to eat, because they don't need to eat or sleep. And they're like the Warforged are in like this little council talking about like, if we're going to travel, we can be the scouts. If we need to bed down, we can be the guards. Like they're making plans, and they're like tearing down the outpost, and turning it into like basically caravan material. Like, who can carry this? Who can carry that? And like Watt is like, I couldn't carry Tig, and Tig's like, I can carry myself. And they're basically making plans. But Poppy and Reggie are next to Shafak, who is shivering, and the light from underneath the basically the like bedroll blanket they have over him is starting to spill out from beneath it. And Thesrasa goes, what's happening there? And now people have to do multiple characters.
Perfect.
Shafak goes, Shafak is muttering under his breath, I can't stop it. I can't stop it. I can't stop it.
Do I feel like it's hurting? Like, does Poppy feel like it's hurting Shafak in that moment, or just like the change is like he can't stop that?
You can do insight or medicine if you like.
All right, I will do medicine. That's a +5. Let me get my dice out here. Hey, that's not bad. That is an 18.
It doesn't look like he's in pain per se, but it also doesn't look like he's well. So you assume he's talking about the change.
Okay. I offer whatever, like, you know what? Yeah. Poppy's going to reach into his bag of alchemy and fun because he tinkers and makes all kinds of alchemical fun things.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to do his best to make a tincture or something that will maybe help Shafak relax a little bit.
Okay.
So whatever Poppy needs to roll for that medicine check or whatever, or he can just describe whatever it is that he's making. It's up to you.
You give this drink to Shafak. Roll me a d8.
Yeah. Okay. That's a 7.
Flip a coin.
Oh shit. I had one. Stand by. I know I have a coin. 4.
Or just roll like something like that's a d2.
Nope. I got it. All right. What am I flipping? Do I
Just,
just say heads or tails?
yeah, heads or tails.
Okay. The Kraken is heads, and actually the words are tails. The Kraken is heads.
Cool.
It's words. So,
Okay. Shafak's eyes open wide. They're not his normal starry eyes. They are starting to be that cleared white presence that you've seen from deities. And he says, each one of us has been sealed away. No longer can we guide and control the weave. We're starting to fail.
Reggie has never seen Thesrasa in lady form before.
No.
So he's going to make an insight check to see if he recognizes or not.
Sure.
No, that's a 2 on the die. He has no idea who this lady is.
There's some sort of ancient crone here that you do not know.
Yeah. Dr. Vakal, is there someplace we could take you, something we can do? You're emitting a lot of energy, drawing a lot of attention, probably.
Roll a d8.
D8. 8.
He looks at you, but he kind of looks past you, and he says, we have lost. There is no one left.
Oh no, that's not true. We've saved a few. War, Light, City, they're all out.
Ooh, roll a d8 again.
3.
3. 1, 2, 3. Roll a d6.
D6. 4.
2, 3. Oh, he calms for a moment and he goes, "They're here. They're here." I can't do his accent. It's too cool.
It's close enough.
But he goes, "Then the astral sea has been created instead of space. So the sun can give life to all of the pockets."
I'm afraid that's the hand talking.
That was crazy. That was crazy, right? What was that? What was that? What? The pockets. The sun. What?
Everybody give me an Arcana check or a religion check. Chelly, whenever you roll Arcana, you roll with advantage.
Poppy is a 19 religion.
Okay.
And if Leonardo's around the conversation, he rolled a 5 for religion.
Leonardo's like, "What the hell's going on?"
What? I don't.
22.
22.
They got a 15 religion.
15
Reggie
religion.
only got an 11 Arcana.
Anything for Karasu? I heard a boop boop.
Ba-doop. Karasu on that's 13.
13 Arcana or religion?
Actually, let's do Arcana, and that would make it a 16.
Okay. So Reggie and Karasu, with your rolls with Arcana, you're like, you realize Shafak's not even talking anymore, right? Reggie was right. He was like, "Oh, this is the hand. This is the hand talking." And you realize that it's taking control, and you don't know how to stop it or if it can be stopped. Leonardo, you don't really know what's happening at all. But
Light show.
Poppy realizes that with that religion score, that whatever he's talking about are actually the experiences of Arcana, the god, and you think that you've even heard references of this in old religious tales, like how the gods separated, like separated the planes, and like made space for the prime material and gave life to everything. You think that's what he's talking about, but it's weird because it seems like he's jumping all over in terms of time. Yeah. Chelly, with a 22, you realize not only is you don't really know if there's a way to stop this change from happening or even to slow it down, but you realize this is a beacon of energy. If Shafak transfers fully into a god right here, all eyes are going to turn and see you guys. And on a 22, you remember the first reports from the teams that brought war back to life and released light. And you're like, "Oh, there's these things out there. These things out there that you can put gods in, and then you can't. Then they don't hurt you because when Yeah, when a god is free and next to you, you start getting hurt because the power of the god is overwhelming. Um, and also all of this magic is released. But when they're enclosed, they're fine. And you're like, oh, we gotta put Shafak in a box. We
Do you
gotta
have a
find
box?
You gotta find a box for Shafak. Shafak box.
There's one on the moon.
Box.
War
Can we
was
get to
in
the
one.
moon?
Oh. Oh.
Where was City? I can't remember how we found City. City was walking around in the blind.
City was.
Guys.
City was hiding in a dead body.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can we do that?
The
That's
question
cute.
the question for that is, can Shafak do that? Shafak
Right.
doesn't look like that he's in a state where he can help you with
I
this.
could take him to the moon.
Well, right now, Chelly is the
I
only
mean,
one
to
that
the
knows that this needs to happen.
I was
Yes.
gonna say the same thing.
What?
Fly me to the moon thing, not what you
Well,
said.
I was singing. Sorry, and she caught it. My bad.
Oh, got it. All right. So those are your roles, and now I'm stepping out, so people have to talk.
Oh, damn. We gotta put him right, Shelly. Is that you? He needs to go in a box. We don't have a box. We need a box, right?
You gotta move.
Where war was in a box, right?
Or wasn't
Yes,
a box. Didn't that door
we-
close?
We found him in a basement. It turned out it was on the moon.
Point of fact, when you freed War, that metal box disintegrated,
Oh, that's right.
and she came out. The same thing happened to Light.
Okay.
Do we know what the box was? Would Poppy be able to surmise what the box was made of?
Poppy wasn't there.
True.
But if you've all been talking about this, maybe you could think about it. But I will also say this for free: those of you who were there in the first run up to the moon and went into the first little stronghold,
So me.
yeah, and Shay wasn't there, but like Reggie is there right now.
Yes.
You guys only went into one of the 4 places.
Yeah, but fuck that.
So underneath there were 4 vestibules. You opened the one that had War in it, that also had all of that stuff that you brought back to the blind, and then you went straight up into Mock's Tower. There's more stuff down there. Well, no, I don't know if there's more stuff there. There's more stuff to explore there.
but
right-
is there a box?
They don't know.
Yeah, can
There's-
I like shit out some spider web and make a box, or is that not gonna hold up?
Nah,
You
it's
can
not that type of
you
box,
can
man.
shit out spider web actually, and make a
That's what I
box.
mean.
But it's
Like
not going to
classy.
contain the power of a god.
Yeah. Not the god holding box we're looking for.
Not the thing.
I'm also going to relay. So I don't know how long we have, but I'm going to explain what I have found about Moratma. Imply that it's a place to go, and if there's something relating to gods, it's probably there. So I don't know how long we have, but if we could get Shafak there,
But can we get him there without being seen?
well, bigger problem is I don't know where the fuck it is. I think I was told it's in the center of the world or whatever.
Yeah.
Reggie was on the moon, right?
Yeah.
Reggie was on the moon.
Reggie, give me
What?
give me a history check while they're talking about this.
Oh. +0. Natural 20.
Oh shit! Yes.
Reggie, He said, I don't know where it is. It's in the center of the world. That's what the book said. And you look and you think back and you go, I saw the world.
Yeah, we looked out the window
I
and we
saw the
saw the
world
world.
from the moon. And when the Earth rose and you looked at it from Luna, you remember, because this is why it sticks in your brain immediately. You're like, oh well, the Weaver's knot was embossed over these two vast continents, and there was definitely a center of the Weaver's knot. It's right there. You're like, well, that's the center of the world right there.
Yeah.
And you remember seeing that sickening black pit in the center of the earth, around like whatever formations were left there. But you're like, there's a clear center if you're thinking of it in terms of the Weaver's knot.
Huh.
Yes. I relay that.
Okay. So,
We still have to get there.
well, it's also a problem if we're traveling with Shafak and Shafak goes like supernova. We're not going to be traveling for very long.
That's why I said, can we build a box? Right?
What do I know
Can build
about?
a bear.
Do I get the vibe that I could lead Poppy to building a box? Because I was there, like me and Reggie.
Okay.
I have.
Give me
we have a forge right here. We've got the Dragarino.
You want an Arcana check?
Give me an Arcana check with an Allie Beardsley DC.
Okay.
Can I
in
assist?
That case, I'm going to guidance myself. And are you assisting me?
I would like to assist.
Does that make sense? Even though you haven't.
It doesn't make sense for Poppy to assist you because he's never been in. Wait, you were there when light was Poppy there when light was freed?
One of them, yes. I don't remember which
Poppy
one.
was there
though.
when light was freed. Okay, then yes, so long as you were there.
Or no.
You know, it's a 4 on guidance again. That's good, right? I'm sure that matters. I'm sure that'll really play an important part in this role. The first one's an 11. That's good, right? That's like a 20.
The power of the cat compels you. You must roll better.
The power of the cat compels you.
No, that's a
No.
9.
Okay, what was your highest? What was your highest?
That's gonna be a 21.
Okay, a 21. Discussing what you have both seen, like witnessed, been there for, all that stuff. What you guys realize is it's not a metal It's not like a method It was seamless. What I'm going to give you with that, because it's not a bad roll, right? It's just not like, I'm not going to flip my whole script for you kind of roll. What you get is that if you saw it, you'd know it.
Mm.
Right? If you found it, you could probably figure it out. And since we're getting up around 9 o'clock, I'm gonna say at this point, Tig goes, well, he can't stay here, and looks out at the horizon and he says, it doesn't look like we have to leave now. It looks like we have enough time to at least get ready. The Warforged are already making plans, and I can start getting stuff together too, rations and stuff like that. Just take Shafak somewhere, if it's towards the center, or if it's to the northeast, or if it's to your buddy on the moon. Go somewhere. Get this under control and then come back, and that's when we'll make our trek. And if something happens, we'll find a way to contact you, or we'll hop through one of the doors.
Okay.
What do you think, Krasi?
Was there anything on the moon that was trying to kill us?
When you guys looked out the windows of the moon, it was just moon surface. There wasn't anything there.
Okay. I think we should go to the moon and maybe ask Mock if he knows where a box is or where some contingency plan for the gods was, maybe. Maybe Mock has an idea. Do I have a direct line to Mock? Do I have to go talk to him or do I have a mental...
I don't know.
Mock is pretty flighty.
Yeah, okay. Probably have to go and have a conversation.
Mock likes to mess with you, but does not answer every time.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna look up. Any idea where a box would be?
You hear baby shark. No, that's not true. You don't get you don't get an answer at this time.
That would be my my bet would be going to the moon. We could check the doors at the bottom and see if any of them do anything, and we can also ask Mog. Plus, it brings
That's a great plan.
It brings us straight back here, so we don't have to go anywhere, right?
Sounds good. Doctor, it's time to go on a little bit of a trip.
Oh, you're talking to Shafak?
Yeah.
Roll me a d8.
7.
7. Shafak looks at you, and his eyes are normal. And he says, "Yes, we must go."
Off we go.
How do you get them to the moon? And that's how we're going to close out for now.
So I'm gonna put the
How many people can you take?
So that's a great question. Let's see. I think you have to tell me that. But let's see.
I don't know. There's rules in there.
Yeah, I don't remember the Genie Warlock class.
Hold up. I gotta check a thing really quick. Because we may have
That sounds weird.
yeah. Yep. That's what it is. So last time we did it, we storied our way through it to fix it. I can't bring people with me until 10th level.
Oh.
Okay, we in trouble now.
You have another option with you, though.
I'm not... what option?
You're carrying it. You went to go get it. You need Twilight and a door.
I need to.
I can make you a door.
I don't know what.
You went and got the sundial.
Oh, right. What the hell does the sundial do?
So that's what opened the door in the temple when at twilight when the sun went down. It opened the door to go to the moon.
Okay, so just as a refresher, the Temple of Dicks, which was what I made by accident.
The map accidentally looked like a penis.
It absolutely did, and it was a mistake. It was my fault. 100%. It had a floor, and the floor had the weaver's knot on it, but it was knocked sideways. And then if you looked up, you saw the weaver's knot where it was supposed to be, and the weaver's knot pointed towards the door, and the sundial was not aligned. So you realigned it. See you later.
Bye.
So you realigned it, and then at twilight, the light shot, or the twilight came in and revealed that the door that was just to a storeroom was repurposed as the door to Mock's library.
Okay. Then yeah, we're gonna do our best to recreate the conditions to get a door to happen. I'll probably enlist Poppy for that.
Oh yeah, I can create mirrors and illusion and whatever we need.
You don't
Door,
need
whatever.
mirrors or illusion. You just literally need a door and
I can fashion a door.
to set it in the right that was awesome.
Orientation.
Welcome back. In the right orientation.
Sorry.
So no problem. So now I have the dubious honor of saying that your team is going to wait until what is left of the sun starts going down,
Yeah.
and then take Shafak,
a little better
and
now.
whichever team ends up going next time we play, to try and put Shafak in a box.
Really quick. How do I
Yes.
feel about Shafak every time he goes like godly?
How do you feel?
How do I feel? How does Karasu feel?
What happened last time you were in the presence of a god?
I don't think I was very comfortable.
Oh, you're not comfortable. I remember what happens to you because of your
Oh,
affliction.
right.
You roll your saving throws at disadvantage. But that's not it's not that strong yet. You're just like you're just uncomfortable. You're
Okay,
just uncomfortable.
but if I am like squirming around him.
Off and on. Yeah.
Okay.
Off and on, which is a bummer because he was one of your greatest friends.
True.
Consequences be consequences.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and
They are
germs.
what they are.
It is after 9. And so I'm gonna close it off there. It is always weird to do the Darkening Sky and set up the stuff that's going to happen because
Yeah.
we'll probably do this thing in a month. And that's where the meat of the action will be. So hopefully we'll be able to do that in about whenever. And hopefully it was fun, guys and gals and cats and dogs.
Yeah, I like playing Shay. Shay's fun.
Well, next time I hope that there'll be more play and less exposition. I have been Joffo Gibbo, a mediocre DM, but a very good father. And I'm here to tell you I'm proud of you. And you're doing the right thing and you're getting through it. And if you ever need to talk, I'm here, although you don't know my telephone number. Dakota, it's your
I
turn.
refuse to give it out.
I refuse.
I am Dakota Orshiro. I played Karasu and Tiara and Wall. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I got.
Mr. DiCaprio, if you would be so kind.
Hi there, Gibu. It was great for you to share the meat of the plan with us here. I played Leonardo, our newly found friend, Poppy, and the barbarian, Barlow. Back to you, Gibbo.
Mr. Shea Butter.
Hello. I have slathered myself with my namesake. Slathered heavily. Every square inch.
I don't.
No, I played Shay, a tiny little crystal man. Well, he's genderless because he has no genitals because he's made out of crystals.
Crystal.
He kind of presents male, so I call him he. And then I also played Reggie a little bit, who's a bird man.
Tiny crystal penis. Also,
No genitals.
and
No
Shelly,
Spiky.
it's your turn to make noise.
Strive for the day when I have crystal genitals. Also, Joffo Gibu, that daddy speech touched me to the core. Loved it. Don't feel that I really did much for the story aside from weaving a friendship bracelet for our dragon matron. But love the journey for all of us. And
What are you talking about? I'm going to make that a magic item.
Woo! I like it.
hell yeah. So then I pull a Gene Kelly circa Singing in the Rain dance in a circle And then that's it.
See?
I
Dad-
love it.
Hashtag daddy speech.
Hashtag daddy speech. Speaking of which, next time we do the Darkening Sky, probably at the end of next month, if all things work out, we will have a nice puzzle adventure that I have created.
Interesting.
And after that, everyone dies in a fire. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Jafu Gibu.